Hello, hello, fun people! Welcome to Everything Aja. If you're new here, hello, my name is Aja. I'm an educational consultant who helps teachers and parents teach with ease. So that means I help you prevent teaching burnout by helping you manage effective reading instruction by making reading as fun, simple, and systematic as possible. I am so excited because here on Everything Aja, each and every Saturday morning, we do what we call Chat It Up Saturday. And we like to talk about hot educational topics. And today we are getting in the nitty gritty. And I'm going to ask you a question that's really going to make you think. And so I really want your honest opinion. I want you to just go with me in your mind. Go ahead and fantasize a little bit today instead of talking about how we can change the world. I just want us to go through this experience that other teachers throughout the nation here in the U.S. They got to experience. So I'm just gonna have us just imagine for a second. Can we imagine for a second that this was us and we got this same experience? So today you're gonna get a chance to just what if just fantasize with me really quick. And so I'm gonna ask you, what would you buy for your school if you were to receive 50,000? Good morning, good morning. So of course, I wish I could sit and give you $50,000, but for some teachers, this became their reality. That Mr. Beast, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Mr. Beast, but he is one of the most popular, richest YouTubers out there. In fact, if you look up Mr. Beast, he has over 100 million subscribers here on YouTube. I'm serious. Like, he is doing it on YouTube, and he's made his riches by ads, sponsorships, and everything else. And so a lot of his video, a lot of his content is really just him creating challenges. Like, for example, he'll lock 100 people in a room and see how long they can last. And if you last for a certain amount of time, then you get some money. And so he does like a lot of challenges like that. But he actually has a philanthropy page where he goes and he does things within the community. And I was so excited when I saw what he did just 2 months ago during back to school season. In fact, this video has over 8 million views. He gave to five schools. So he was going around giving to the poorest school in the nation here in the US, but he also gave to schools that was in his environment in North Carolina where he grew up. And so for some teachers, this became their reality. They got $50,000 and had to decide on the spot what to actually get for their children. And so I'm just gonna walk you through kind of what happened. So he filled five buses filled with school supplies, and he was taking those five buses to, like I stated, schools all around him. And so he filled them up with school supplies. For the first school, he went to four different schools, like I said, within the North Carolina area, and then they traveled all the way until the poorest school in the nation. And so
Hey, so there's only a
that's
limited
kind of
time
like
left to get
the
over.
the background of the story. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of share with you what he did, and then I want you to imagine what you would do if this was you. So for the first school, what he ended up doing is he just filled up the cafeteria, as you see here. He filled up with all the cafeteria with all kinds of different school supplies, and children were able to come and pick what they wanted. And so that was the first like giveaway that he did. And then the second giveaway for that same school, he actually ended up giving a lunch lady some money. And then he went to the second school and he redid the STEM room. So he gave the STEM lab like an entire thing of supplies that's not featured in this picture, but then he also gave the STEM lab additional supplies. So he completely redid their STEM lab. Does anybody have a STEM lab? I know we did. We are actually a STEM certified school, so we definitely have a STEM lab. So we understand, all the supplies that go into, creating the STEM lab. And so it's a lot, it's a lot of money that goes into it. And so he was able to, help them with that. Then hey, Fakarte, say good morning, good morning, good morning. We're talking about Mr. Beast and what he did for schools here in the US and what we would do if that was us. So we're explaining the story, and then we're going to have a chance to, I'm interested to know what we would do, because you never know. This could be you, right? This could be you. And so he went ahead and did that with that school. Then the next school, he took the buses that were still the other four buses. Remember, he had five total buses. The other four buses, and kids actually came outside in the bus tunnel and they grabbed book bags and everything that they could fit in their hands from this bus. And then so all of those were done in North Carolina. So he spent over $200,000 in North Carolina, and then he went. I want to say it was Utah. Don't quote me, but I want to say Utah, to the poorest school in the nation. And there are these teachers. He gave them $50,000, ching ching, took them on a trip to Walmart, told them whatever they could fit in a U-Haul and a bus is theirs. And that's why we're here today. Ding, ding. So I want us to pretend like we are on this trip with Mr. Beast, having the opportunity to go to Walmart, to go on a shopping spree. Like, have you guys ever been on a complete shopping spree? That's literally what these teachers had the opportunity to do. And so they went. At first it's so crazy watching the video because the teachers are like, we don't know what to get. They were so confused. They were like, we don't know what to get, like. And so they had to tell them. They were like, whatever you can pour in here. What was that? There was a show that used to be like that, and the show literally had that, where whatever you could fit in your shopping cart was yours. And that's pretty much what he did here. And so then once teachers got a hang of it, they were like, hey, our kids need balls, our kids need this, can our kids get TVs? They were like, absolutely, now you're thinking. And so, but at first, like, they felt very limited because they didn't know what to get. Like, what do your kids need as the poorest school in America? Like, what do your kids need? Now, I was very shocked to see the ethnicity was not those that looked like me. All you knew was the teachers, and so all the teachers were Caucasian. But I mean, I guess it is Utah, but I didn't know that they even had that was the poorest school, in the nation. So it was really interesting to see that. And so whatever they got to fit in the bus and in the um U-Haul, they got to keep. So now I just want us to just take a moment. And I would love if you want to jump on and share your thoughts. Definitely do that. I want to know what you would do. So share your thoughts. What would you do with $50,000? Like, what do you think that children actually need? I know for me, I probably would get like the little virtual reality things, because there's a lot of educational things that you can put on there, and that can make teaching reality for these kids. They love stuff like that. So I'll probably start in the technology section and then work my way down. We always seem to go to school supplies, but it's like, hey, somebody's giving you $50,000. You better start with the big stuff. Start with the big stuff. I know with our school, we end up getting sponsored by one of the NFL players, and which was a blessing, such a blessing. But we actually did like a room for the kids, and so we did like PlayStations, they had like gaming centers, they had a whole bunch of games. We had like a ping pong table, air hockey table. And that was for children to that could be a part of the reward. So for our school initiative, like this, do you guys have like school initiatives? A lot of schools do PBIS, PBIS, which helps, positive reward of behavior. And so with PBIS, our school-wide PBIS initiative, a part of that was to go visit the room. And so the good thing about that is once you implement something like that, then you could just keep reusing it. Hey, good morning, good morning. You said you would use it for a sensory room for students in special education. That's a good one too. Oh my goodness, I didn't think about something like that. That's a good one. So what would you buy in your sensory room? Like what would be some of the things that you would buy for a sensory room? We never know. Hey, maybe Mr. Beast will see this and say, "Hey, I want to help y'all." Like, so I love it. What are some things that you would buy in a sensory room? I could see things like sand, the little water tables, um, definitely sand. I'm like, definitely sand. That comes with a lot of different things. You said good. Good morning. Oh, because I didn't even say it. Say guest morning. See, I immediately said good morning. You said you start with technology too. Come on now. I'm like, we're gonna start with the heavy hitters. But like honestly, I probably would do a room like how we had it because and we even did, so we did a room for teachers and we did a room for the kids. So I talked about the kids room. Like I said, the kids room had like video games, gaming things that kids got to good morning, got to work their way towards. But then we also had a Zen room for teachers, and that's important too. Like just a room with like massaging tables, I mean not massaging tables, massaging chairs, the massaging foot thing, the room was painted. They had like all the little piece things like a Zen room, like a timeout room for teachers. And so I honestly, if I had $50,000, I would probably want to recreate that in more schools. Because think about how powerful schools can be if you have an area for teachers and an area for kids like that. But also, I like how you even said like a sensory room for special education, something that kids can go to on a regular basis, not just like something one off. Do I have anybody that has STEM, like a STEM lab? Because that's another big thing. And with STEM labs, they're quite expensive. You have like the technology that has to go into place, all the things for experiments, the organization things that you need to keep everything organized and set apart. So STEM labs are kind of expensive too. You said, oh, a climbing wall and the ball pit. Oh yes, I've actually seen. You see a lot of that type of stuff like in special lower grades, but I love that for like special education. I think that would be very beneficial, especially a climbing wall. And I wonder like how expensive that would be. I don't think it would be too expensive, but I love that. Like a climbing wall, a ball pit. That'll be really dope. Hey Joy, hey. You say you have a STEM lab and art is included and a sensory room. Okay, good. So what would you buy then? If you already have that, what would you buy if somebody came and blessed you with $50,000, what would you get your children? It really makes us think about the lack that the kids have. Noticed nobody said pencils. We didn't go like pencils, notebooks. I mean, yes, kids need those, but there's so much more that kids can benefit from. And a lot of times the barrier is really money. It's money that kind of stops us from having those type of situations. And so this at least gives us the moment to just dream a little bit. Dream a little bit. It's right before the holiday season. Hopefully, maybe somebody, I wish I had the coins, but one day I want to do like giveaways on here for teachers, and things. I really, really, really want to do that. And so let's see. You said you have a STEM lab. You said you love the idea of video games as an incentive. Yeah, he says today is so technology driven. Yep, that would be a great motivation. Yes, yes, yes. You said must have a tea and coffee station in the Zen room. I haven't thought about that. That would be really nice for teachers. Even like if you just did like like with the money, if you could just do every Friday, maybe you have like Starbucks come in and do coffee. I know I'm huge on eating. Give me some donuts. Like what if like admin were to take the money and do like teacher appreciation all week? I mean all year, not just one week, but like like take the money and then kind of maybe instead of just buying some, buy stuff that you could spread out throughout the year. And so like coffee and tea for every Friday for teachers, or every Monday for teachers to get them started on their week. I think that would be really dope. Come on now, Chris, almost Christmas time. Admin, look, start to think about that. It's time to start thinking about that. Oh my goodness, Joy, come on now. She said I'll pay for a full-time substitute teacher. Now that come on now, that's a good one. That is a good one. You said you guys get $400 for. Oh, I love that. We actually did. You must be a Title I school. I know if you are a Title I school, you do get additional funding, and I think this year they actually wrote out some more funding, federal funding. But a lot of times, with those, like you said, classroom supplies, they're limited on like supplies like construction paper, glue, pencils. And so a lot of times as teachers, when we get money, we go immediately to classroom supplies, and we rarely get the opportunity to dream outside of that. But even like classroom games from Lakeshore, that would be a greatly appreciated. Like learning games that children could implement that don't take so much out of you to prep and plan, would be amazing. Um, you said weighted blankets, tactile pillows, mood lighting. Oh yes, that would really, really set off your sensory room, especially the mood lighting. Mood lighting. Even we were talking about the Zen room, mood lighting in a Zen room. Come on now, I didn't think about that. I love that. I love that. I love that. You said appreciation throughout the year would be amazing, and it doesn't really take much. It just takes really intentionality. Like okay, how could we split up this money so it's not just a one-off thing? I know a few years ago, I mean, this was like about a decade ago. I was teaching pre-K, and it was my first year of teaching pre-K. And I never forget the CEO of a um, power company. Was his granddaughter was in the room next to us, and we were in a private pre-K. There was only 3 classrooms, and crazy. His granddaughter was in the room next to us, and so he donated $100,000 to the school and said in stipulations This is to be used for field trips only and must be done by the end of this school year. So, guess what we had to do? We went on a field trip for the whole school. Like, because they told him, they were like, well, we can't just do your class. Like, you would have to do the whole school. So he donated to the whole school and was like, hey, whatever I have to do, my granddaughter is going to get the pre-K experience of a lifetime. And it was amazing. Like, we went to Disney on Ice. We went to the pumpkin patch. We went to safari. We went to everything. But he made it very clear. He's like, this money had to be used by the end of this year. So it really is a thing. It really is a thing. Okay, so for Curtis says she would invest in an art and music program for her school. Oh, I love that. Art and music, we don't have these programs in our school, and it may help to develop different hidden talents. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even theater. And that requires a lot of coins, because you have all the props and everything that has to, get put in place. But I love that you would invest in art and music program. I absolutely love that. Hope, man, I can't wait until I can be able to like really just have moments like this and be like, all right, I got you. Send me your information. It's happening because it's coming. It's coming. That is so exciting. Hey, hey, hey. Oh my goodness, your the pictures kind of, well, I guess you ready for Halloween, aren't you? You said funny lady, you were funny story. You were the tea lady at your school and you were teaching public school, and used to push the cart in the hallway offering tea to teachers. They truly appreciated their tea time. And a lot of times that's all it is. Like, well, us as people, I think we think that we need something big and elaborate, but a lot of us are very simple. Like a lot of us, the little bit of appreciation does go a long way. And with so many teachers quitting, with teacher burnout at an all-time high, with all the pressure that we are experiencing right now in education, uh, how far would a tea cart go? A tea cart that, admin could just roll out, maybe do PTA does it, just once a week. Once a week. That it wouldn't be too much to just say thank you throughout the year. You said your money comes from your state, but you are Title I. But they use the funding for parent involvement in the needs of our Title I teachers. Okay, I love that. I love that. You said so you got to do a shopping spree when President Obama took office, and you guys had a week to spend. Oh my goodness, $1,500 on Lakeshore. Oh, I love Lakeshore. Isn't Lakeshore just the best, y'all? You said we bought the games, but they don't always coincide with your scope and sequence now. Now, you said everything with that one. You do have to be a little strategic at what games you buy. You said the games how had to be taught before we could use them independent small group. So that's the part about games like that. You do have to kind of teach children how to play the games, and if you're teaching them, then how can you be doing guided reading or guided practice? So I totally, totally, totally get that. But when I tell you the Lakeshore games, once kids get it, are great. You said those are great ideas. Total awesome games. I know. Man. Man, I know you said for you it might not have aligned, but I love the Lakeshore games. And for me, they were helpful. Now I didn't have too many games in my classroom. I created a lot of games. In fact, one of my stations was learning games, and my learning games were differentiated, but I made a lot of my games. So I took the summer out. I took one whole summer out. And when I tell you, I use those same games year after 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 year. But like you said, they were already aligned to the standard. And I used a lot of the Lakeshore like writing activities because those were great. Like they already had the props in there. And a lot of the Lakeshore games for math were very helpful, especially when it came to like the order of operations. They had an entire bin. And I would love to do a video on those. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to do like some of my favorite Lakeshore games. I could do a video like that. Y'all let me know if that seems interested so that y'all can get some Lakeshore games that do align to the standard. Good morning, Keisha. We are dreaming, girl, today. We talked about Mr. Beast donating $50,000 to the poorest school in America, and the teachers got to go on a shopping spree to Walmart, and they were like in shock, didn't know what to really buy. Like they had never thought of that, like what would you do? And so we're on here just dreaming a little bit what we would do with $50,000 and how we would best spend it for not only our students but also our classroom and our class and our school, because the money was donated to the school. So with that, whatever they fit in a bus and a U-Haul, they got to keep. So we've talked about things like sensory room for special education. We've talked about having like a zen room for teachers and kids. You said Mr. Beast is awesome. He is also always giving back. You know who he is. I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but so amazing giving back to teachers. So we're taking the time to just dream a little bit, especially right before the holiday season. You said you love the Lakeshore writing, math, and grammar journals. I don't think I've tried the journals yet. I have to check those out. I'll have to check those out. Um, he said that was nice, Bonnie, for her to be the tea lady. It shows that they're appreciated. Absolutely. Hey, hey, hey. He said, good rising. Good rising, good rising, good rising. Other things like I know we started trickling into, staff appreciation, but what is it that you think that you guys would like? So even with the $50,000, it was just to be used for the school. Like what would it be that they like? Would it be like a teacher room, like a teacher's in room, or like even a school cafeteria remake? Maybe the school cafeteria gets TVs and stuff. And I wonder if that would actually keep kids quiet during the cafeteria. Like, are y'all cafeterias loud? Because I know ours was. Goodness, it's so loud. I mean, those kids are so loud. And so like having, just TVs in the cafeteria could really help on the noise. You say you love the idea of field trips. Our kids often come from tough situations. Yes. So taking them to like the aquarium or somewhere that they would never get to go to outside of a field trip would also be great. Absolutely, Joy. And I know I shared the story of when we had to do it, like we had no choice, like boop, this was my money and y'all are taking my baby on something. So yeah, I mean, it might have been from a selfish perspective from the little girl's grandfather, but at least all the kids got to benefit that were in pre-K that school year. So like I love field trips. I know in this situation with Mr. Beast, it wasn't that they couldn't have used it on a field trip per se. They had to, use it at Walmart. And so they were kind of limited to, buying stuff. But I think that's a great idea for like, maybe look, Mr. Beast, if you see this video again and want to sponsor some schools, field trips are another thing because you're right, these kids don't come with certain background knowledge. They don't come with certain experiences, and especially when you're trying to teach the standards and you're trying to teach them, even when it comes to like social studies, or even in math when you're dealing with word problems. A lot of our children don't come with the background knowledge, and so they have no idea what some of this stuff is. They don't know what a shark is. They've never seen a shark from a fish. And so just allowing them to go to the aquarium, allowing them to go to the zoo. Some kids have never seen animals in person. As simple as a zoo, they have never seen animals in person. And so we take those, those things for granted. And so that can go a long way. Field trips, absolutely. And so we come up with a lot of ideas. We started with sensory rooms to field trips. And so those are great, great things. So I want to ask y'all, if somebody right now, I know you said what you had $1,500. If somebody right now, like Mr. Beast, took you to Walmart, like to Walmart, and said, "Hey, here you go. Whatever you could fit in your cart, you can have for your kids in your classroom. What would you get that could fit in a cart at Walmart?" So now I'm putting a little bit of stipulations on it. What would you get that could fit in your cart at Walmart? Just like that old game that was at the grocery store, that whatever you could fit in the cart was yours. What would you get? You said someone else suggested video games. If we could set up a room with some big screens so that they could play age appropriate games, that would be awesome too. Yes, yes, like a little game room. And that could be bought at Walmart in the shopping cart. Come on now. TVs, video games, PlayStation 4. Like those are things that, kids, or is it PlayStation 4 or is it PlayStation 5? I don't even know. Look, I'm so out of it. I'm like, are we on 4? Or are we on 5? Um, for those that have the boys, you guys know PlayStation. It's PlayStation 5. It's PlayStation 5 because my husband just got one, and whoa, my goodness, I don't even get to see him anymore. He's on that thing. But like, those are things that kids see, but they don't really get to experience that often. And so, having that would definitely help, and just allow kids to feel included so that they're not so isolated. Because a lot of times kids have access to the internet, they have access to social media now. And so at least if they were to see a little bit of that into the classroom environment, then they'll at least get to identify with that experience. You said virtual field trips encourage your parents to actually take live field trips during summer breaks. I love that. Getting that parent buy-in. Like they probably didn't even understand the power of field trips and how that really pours in and educates. That gives children that authentic experience, that authentic learning experience. You said you use virtual trips in class. Absolutely. Absolutely. And some of those virtual trips cost. That could be another thing that could be given. Give me a virtual field trip to Spain. You know what I mean? Like, give me a virtual trip to Spain. While we are studying those things in social studies, let's take a trip. I know I shared with you guys last week. I'm coming from a fifth grade background, and the Holocaust is a big part of the curriculum. And so let's take a virtual field trip to Germany and what it looks like now, years and years later. And so that's powerful as well, powerful as well, powerful as well. Well, I thank y'all for all these great ideas, all these great ideas. Like we are, I wish that education wasn't so poorly funded. You know what I mean? Like that we could see more of this in our schools, especially our Title I schools, dealing with kids that don't really have access to that. And so, how could we give our kids the same access within the school environment as other people have in a private environment? You say, yes, Bonnie, most of your kids have never even flown. So, you guys do virtual field trips to, oh, Ireland. Okay. Woo, woo. You say you do the whole pretend flight and then we do a tour and fly back. Oh, that's so cute. How do you do the flying? I know I've seen it where like the little baskets, like the little basket crates, how kids could go in there and they get their blankets. And they like almost feel like they're on a trip. Or do you like set up your seats like an airplane and then like you're dressed up? I know for teacher appreciation we did like all around the world and we like really dressed up as flight attendants. And so I would love to know like how you did that, like getting kids involved. I know some schools when they do like the all around the world type of theme. Like they bring in food from all around the world, kids dress from all around the world, and you try to give children that experience because a lot of them haven't gone outside of their neighborhood, let alone their community and the city and town. And so a lot of times we are all they have, and if we don't expose children to things outside of the classroom and outside of their school, then they don't get to see it. And so that was why one of the things I said I would probably buy are like the little VR glasses, because you can do take kids on a virtual reality things. Maybe even doing like virtual reality rooms. I know we talked about some people have STEM labs, but like you had a whole room where everybody had like the virtual reality glasses or 3D glasses. Like kids have never even had that experience. And so what if we were able to do that within our schools? Do do do. It just seems really cool. Seems really cool. Keisha, let us know what you would buy with $50,000. You said so. You set up seats and you dress like a flight attendant. Okay, and you say you do like the push cart with warm towels, little waters, and crackers, and then y'all watch a YouTube video and take off and talk about how long you would be up. Oh, I love it. So you get dressed up, Joy. Joy, what do you teach again? Let me know what do you teach again? Oh, that's so cute. Oh, like so like I like the fact that you're like I'll be the little flight attendant and pass out snacks. That is so cute. Absolutely cute. And look, those are things that you could what? Buy at Walmart on your shopping spree. Bonnie said, "Awesome, Joy." She said she's done the tour also. She said they even sat flat Stanley, the paper doll, to Ireland. You sent Flat Stanley, the paper doll, to Ireland. I love that. I love that. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. So you do second grade inclusion. Okay, okay. West Virginia in the house. Oh my goodness, second grade perfect. So really, second grade perfect age to really understand what they're doing, understand the pretend play we talk about, at such like preschool area level, but at some point that continues and it looks a little different. And so this is a great way to give children that experience, pretend play doesn't just have to stop. You said you rode the plane with your sister to Ireland, which you had your own seat and you took pictures with other flyers. Oh, you said that's precious. I know when I went to DC, I brought back for my kids paper money because they had like fake money and what the Constitution used to look like. And so I brought one for each one of my children, and children love that. They love it. Make it, although it may not be the real thing, although it may not be the real experience. Creating a pretend experience is just as authentic for them, and it really allows them to go to that place, and those are things that we can do, and things that we could buy, even look on our shopping spree. Things that we could get on our shopping spree, but that would make a memorable life experience. So, and just thinking about what we would buy, like, think about, okay, what would give a child that lasting experience, to give a child that an experience that would last beyond school, that would last beyond them leaving my classroom. What could I do to impact a child for the rest of their lives? And that's where we really want to be, to make a difference. And a lot of those things, don't have to take a lot, like we just talked about. I mean, creating a pretend experience to go to Ireland. Those kids are going to remember it the rest of their lives. Even like if you look at your standards, even I know from like what fourth grade, a lot of their social studies are all about colonization and, forming the Americas. That can be a virtual experience as well. A lot of the kids have not traveled out of the state. How could you make it even seem like going up north to the north colonies versus going down south to the southern colonies? Some of y'all are like, "Oh my goodness, I'm writing ideas down." I'm writing ideas down. But it can be really as simple as a virtual field trip. We A lot of schools, at least, have Promethean boards. That seems to be at least something that's common within our school systems. And so use those. I know I haven't seen the old. Y'all remember the rolling cart with the TV? It seems like it's been a minute since I've seen that. You said maybe ask the kids. Oh, I love. Come on now, Joy. Asking the kids what would be good incentives. Often we waste money absolutely on trinkets that are meaningless to them. Yes, asking the kids input. What would you guys like? And then building upon that. A lot of times we underestimate the power of their opinion. Like, let's just ask them. Even when it comes to like reading, a lot of my clients in teaching by design, they'll know I'm like, once you figure out anything that children like, if they show any remorse, interest in something, it could be phones, superheroes. Take that, because kids know what they like. They know what they like. They know what they like. I feel like when a baby is born, like, by the time a kid is born, they already come with things that they prefer over other things. And so take that. Hello, let's run with it. Take what they like and build. It's interesting that nobody said a library or like books. They would buy books. I know a lot of kids don't have access to books. One thing I would love to do are give children books to send home, like send kids home with a library. Every child, like, I know a lot of schools could try to like sponsor, 4 or 5 books, which is definitely a start. But what if we were to donate a library of books to homes, so that every home within your community has a library of books for all their children, all their siblings of all different ages? I'm so surprised nobody said books. Like, I know we went to technology, but like, books, so that every classroom is filled with books, but then also every home, that children are able to go home and also have literature. A lot of times, we talked about here on the channel, a lot, creating that print rich environment, creating a literacy rich environment. And that part of that is having a library of books, giving children the opportunities to choose between different genres, different topics, nonfiction, fiction, and so forth. And so, giving kids a library of books at home every child has a library of books at home would be, oh my goodness, absolutely impactful, and would impact not just the child but also their siblings. Like there would be years to come. Like that is a gift that would keep giving. Like think about it, if you gave an entire library of books when a child is at pre-K or kindergarten, then they're still reaping those benefits as they're in fourth and fifth grade. And so having like a pre-K through fifth grade library for every single home, man, that's look, that's one of the things that I'm adding that to our wish list. Somebody say here's something you could try. You hosted Christmas around the world in your classroom. I love that. And you had parents volunteer to man each country station that they wanted. So you did Christmas, and that's coming up. Hello, Christmas around the world. That's cute too. So you did a scholastic virtual field trip to Plymouth, and you look spelling checks. But that's cute, especially coming up on Thanksgiving. Come on now, and kids could dress up, and they could have like the little paper hats that you could do and stuff. I love that. I love that. Look, the holiday seasons are coming up, y'all. Holiday seasons are coming up. You said yes, Bonnie. You did a different country in each room. That's another thing. Your school, I love that the school could even sponsor it, and each classroom could be a different country. You were in Norway, and it was fun for you and the kids. Absolutely. You said your kids gets lots of books, maybe a magazine subscription though. Okay. You got several in the room from a fundraiser, and your kids absolutely love them. Yes, having their own like magazine subscription. I know you have what was the little kids magazine? Y'all know what I'm talking about? It comes with like activities and stuff. Oh my goodness. I used to get it when I was a kid. My grandmother got it for me. Oh my goodness, I forget. I forget what it would be. But yeah, that's a good one as well. I mean, so you say you get a lot of books, but a lot of schools don't. A lot of schools don't have access to books. And especially books enough to, send home to families. I know our schools don't. My daughter was at a private school, and oh my goodness, they gave those kids so many books. But not every school has that opportunity because her school now, they don't do that. You said you asked parents to decorate project boards so that the station would have a background to represent that country. The children would visit, the parents would stamp their passports and share. Yep. And passports are cheap. There's nothing but sheets of paper. I mean, it takes time. But we did that for teacher appreciation. We did the passports. And so, oh, so cute, so cute. Man, between Bonnie and Joy, if y'all work together, y'all's kids would have the best experience in the world. Highlights. That's it. Highlights magazine. Yes, Highlights magazine. Yes, with your name on it. That's it. That's the magazine. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I had when I was little. So what if we had that for kids? Kids love mail. So often, look, they don't get mail. You probably would find out half your kids don't live in the district, but that's another story. That's neither here nor there. That's another story. Um, but yes, you would probably find out half these kids do not live here. They do not live here whatsoever. Isn't that a part of our reality? You said information about that country, and then they would get a souvenir. Oh, that's cute. A souvenir from each country, or even something to make. To make another good field trip. We were talking about field trips, but another good field trip, like if we could go, would be the Children's Museum. Most states have a Children's Museum that are always very educational, that come with a lot of sensory. We're talking about sensory activities and things and souvenirs that kids could walk away with. But a field trip to the Children's Museum absolutely is another good trip that you guys could take. Oh my goodness, y'all have come up with so many grand ideas for me, this $50,000 is going to stretch with us, is it not? Like this $50,000 from Mr. Beast is going to stretch with us. We have come up with so many grand ideas. You guys, I really have a heart for your children. Not only just a heart for like getting them stuff, but also creating an experience, creating a learning experience that they could take for a lifetime. So I know that your children absolutely, absolutely appreciate it. And so thanks for all of you all's wonderful ideas on today. All the auticity, and you guys just sharing your thoughts and what you would do with $50,000. Hopefully, this becomes a reality. And I can't wait to, even on this channel, be able to award people with some things. Coming up soon, I have something. We're going to do 12 days of Christmas here on the channel. But so you just make sure that you are stay tuned and subscribed, so that you can be a part of our 12 days of Christmas. You said, well, you get to go this year. Okay, to the Children's Museum. Woo, it's 2 hours away, and your old admin wouldn't let you guys go, but your new admin has already promised that you guys could do the Children's Museum. Telling you, Children's Museum is amazing. I've done a few states. I've done, and of course, I've done Indiana. I was from Indiana, but Indiana has the world's largest children's museum. In fact, there's a so big, it is 5 levels, that also has an IMAX theater within the museum. I've also been to the Chattanooga Children's Museum in Tennessee. That's really dope. Has a lot of interactive play. And then I've also been to the Children's Museum in Georgia that it also has some interactive play as well. So I am really big on children's museums. They are amazing. Amazing. And children can have so many different experiences, between learning to playing to sensory and kinesthetic things. It's just absolutely amazing. He said it's way better than the pumpkin patch in the rain. Oh my goodness, my daughter's class is going to the pumpkin patch. They haven't been on a field trip in 2 years because of the pandemic. And so field trips are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We are back in field trip season. And so it feels good to be back in field trip season. Our children definitely deserve the experiences that they were able to get, pre-pandemic, that we're able to go back, back to those good old days, the good old days, the good old days. But I thank you guys. Make sure that you are tuned in each and every Sunday. We also tomorrow release a video 8 o'clock a.m. That's our new releasing schedule. We are here every Saturday for Chat It Up Saturday. Next Saturday will actually be a vote. We vote every other Saturday. So make sure you check the community tab. If you have any new thoughts, drop them down right now in the chat box so that we could vote this week on what our topic is for next Saturday. And so I cannot wait for you guys to join us each and every Saturday. Thank you guys. Thank you, Joy. Thank you. What is it? Wife, mom, wife, and more for Kerte, everybody else for checking in. I appreciate dreaming with you guys. It was nice dreaming. And if you are trying to figure out what to get your children for the Christmas season, make sure that you are tuned in. We did a video of Christmas gifts for teachers that you could send to some of your people. And so coming up, we have Christmas gifts for children as well. You said, by the way, Aja, you did not fly to Ireland on a plane with your sister. It was Flat Stanley who had the experience dollars. Do you know the story between Flat Stanley? I do know the book, the book Flat Stanley. I think you actually introduced me to Flat Stanley, to be honest. You told me about Flat Stanley, and that's when I looked up the book series. And because I remember the old Flat Stanley, but they have so many of them. Scholastic, even they even have Flat Stanley that you can read. And so that would be dope. We could even do like Flat Stanley ideas if you want to join me on a video. We could just give teachers from Flat Stanley ideas of things that they could do with the book series Flat Stanley. That'd be a great topic. Great, great, great topic. Well, thank you guys for joining Saturday, like Chat It Up Saturday. And like I stated, if you haven't already checked out the Christmas gifts, it's that season. It's time. It's time for Christmas, people. I'm about to put up my Christmas tree now. I'm ready. I'm ready, ready, ready. My husband was like, already? It's so early. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love Christmas. It's the best time of the year in my opinion. All right, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. For our video, our weekly video to get dropped. He said Flat Stanley field trips and virtual trips would be great. Okay, I think we need to make the video happen. I'm feeling a collab. Are you feeling a collab? I'm feeling it. I'm ready for a Flat Stanley video. Flat Stanley idea video. I think that would be dope. I think that would be really amazing. And we could just share, things to do with Flat Stanley. You said, would you let Stanley to promote children to write? Will you let Stanley to prompt children to write? I'm like, wait, I read that all wrong, all wrong, all wrong. Yes, that would be dope. Bonnie, I think we need to do a video. Flat Stanley, things that you can do, like interactive things out of the box, like definitely out of the box things to do with Flat Stanley. I love it. It could even be one of our chatted up Saturdays if you want. Just sprinkling it in there, sprinkling ideas in there, ideas in there. But all right, make sure you guys vote on our community tab, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.